Hey there everybody, Mazrock here, and today we've got another key coaching video. I want to thank everybody for having put these in. This is a 15 Iron Docks with a Protection Paladin point of view. See here right off the bat, a couple things I really like. Of course, he took the Mastery Bounty, which I have personally found for Paladin makes it feel way better. And I really like this person's UI. I think his name is Alienator. Yeah, Alienator, we see here, right here. I really, really like his UI. Nice and clean.
Shockwave.
And made it its own. The one thing I would personally change is I would change where your holy power is and probably put the bar right here, because you tend to be more center focused as a player, as a tank. You're kind of watching yourself and what's going on around you. Keeping track of this probably right here, because you can actually separate this from LVUI and put it right there. But I mean, dude, that is so incredibly minor. It's, is what it is. So this is a 15 Iron Docks on Tyrannical Inspiring Quaking. So this is the first week. One of the things that I've learned doing this dungeon multiple times, especially on Sanguine weeks, is these incinerators, the Deadeyes, those guys, they need to die. Those should absolutely be your focus. These guys will just randomly, like the Deadeyes will just randomly chunk your players and things like that, and they don't like to move, so Sanguine is kind of a nightmare with these guys. But that's just because you see here, right? You got your healer half health, warlock half health, and that's just because these guys are just kind of doing their own little thing, right? But that's less on you. But if you are leading the group, I would suggest that you tell them, hey, look, those incinerators need to die first. They do a lot more party damage than they do tank damage. As a tank, you can take it, right? But as your DPS might be a little squishy. It puts more stress on your healer and things like that. So any stuns that you can get on incinerators and Deadeyes is going to be a lot better for you. I'm liking to see the Wog there. You're helping your healer out. I've really fallen in love with Hand of the Protector over the last few months. I used to run Judgment of Light for easy healing, but I find that Hand of the Protector for that really spot on. You need something right now, and like for example, let's take a look here. So here you see there was a black puddle here. This can cause some problems. You do want to try and pull anything and everything out. What you can do to pull the technicians and the incinerators and stuff is you can come right back around here. You just need to watch for the padding ad, but he's not too bad. So here he's padding away.
Range 5.
And I know I'm seeing a lot of people at the same time. I'm seeing them opt to do this, where you just pull here, but at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of people just skip right past it. If you hug this little corner and walk here, you can grab this technician that's actually a shrouded mob and just skip the mini ad altogether. But that is, that's choice decision. As you guys can do whatever you guys want.
Watch your step.
Trying to see you seem to have a good consecration. Like you tend to stay in it. Here you're hugging the corner, but you're staying in it until you had to move out. Very, very nice. Yeah, that's Zolgamux. He likes to wreck some tanks.
Watch your step. Range 5.
What's funny, I think in the Great Push, I think most people are going to opt to skip this. I think that's going to happen. Is that a... Oh, okay. It's the nameplate underneath your... I was wondering if you had a cast bar right on top of your buttons. I thought that was a little weird, but it's actually just the nameplate that goes over, which is perfectly fair. This guy here isn't too bad on his own, but you don't want to pull too much with him. What I would have done here is pull him in and then bring him into this technician and the shrouded mob. But I mean, if you guys just want to, like, it's a little bit more efficient, right? Because you're just getting more count that way instead of just, like, this is not something you want to pull with all of this, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt to pull 1 or 2 mobs over with them, especially because that technician shrouded mob isn't too bad to deal with. But you guys are opting to skip it, which is perfectly fine. And we're gonna get over to first boss here, Mr. Dreadfang. You seem to be very aware of your consecrate, and that is very, very good. You're hugging the edge of it when you have to. See, right now, yeah, okay, you're out, but you placed another one back in. You seem to have found the rhythm of when to get out and go back in and move and things like that. Very, very good. Just trying to see what some of your cooldowns are. Kind of track to see where they are. Did you pop Guardians there? Is that it? Yeah, you did pop Guardians. Sometimes I get them confused with wings, but you don't have a Holy Priest. Not with wings, but with the Guardian Angel wings from the Priest. I find they sometimes look the same. You guys had good lust timing. Yeah, you're going to want to make room here, which you do fairly well. As you saw the boss move. So yeah, here you see the fire right now. I think you got, yeah, you got a melee. Yeah, okay, you got one melee. That's not too bad.
Range 5.
This is kind of a once the wolf goes away, this is kind of a boring boss fight. So here comes the shield. You guys don't stop attacking. Yeah.
Range 5.
This is something you can pre-plan your bubble for, especially once you get into higher keys as a paladin. What you can do is when the shield comes out, you can just kind of hit button and then you'll hit bubble, and then you're just gonna kind of immune that fear as the shield goes down, and then you don't have to worry about it. If you're not running Final Stand, you're gonna want to bubble taunt, or kind of at the moment you know the fear's gone out, cancel your bubble so he doesn't start attacking someone else. This is very, very dangerous in higher keys. What I would do is I would stay mounted until you're kind of on this little like wooden ramp down, and then turn around, and then you can pony off the other way. That way you can still hit them with judgments and Avengers shields and things like that. These guys, especially on fortified, really can truck, and it's not something you ever want to turn your back on. So an easy way to get threat on them is just to mount up and go quick, turn Crusader's aura on, and then the moment you get off your like hit an Avenger shield, you get more threat on both of them, and then you know, you can put Devo Aura right back on.
Range 5.
Very good use of Iron Stars. I really do like the Iron Stars in this dungeon. They're simple, they're easy, they give you count. They add a nice little bit of... Very nice, yeah. They add a nice little bit of like extra flavor to the dungeon. I'm a really big fan of them without having been overpowered. Like,
Range 5.
One of the things like with Necrotic Wake, now I don't mind Necrotic Wake, I actually do like it. But one of the things that kind of bothered me towards the end was like, alright, like the weapons are doing all of the work. There's literally nothing to do. Just quite literally, just use the weapons efficiently and it's yours.
Range 5.
Do you have an Ardent Defender tracker is your next thing? Ardent Defender and Shield of the Righteous. Now, Shield of the Righteous, yeah, I don't think you need to track as much, but it's important to be able to see it somewhere nice and easily, because you want to make sure that you never actually fall off. And I have noticed, especially in like heavy damage pulls for the party, I tend to help out the healer a lot, and when I'm helping out the healer, Shield of the Righteous doesn't get refreshed as often, so I just want to make sure that I've always got at least some seconds rolling on it. This is when you decide to set that.
Range 5.
Always something to be aware of. And Ardent Defender as well, remember with the Conduit, you can extend its duration. So a very good Paladin trick that's nice and simple is if you have Divine Toll up for a pull, and you have Ardent Defender, hit Ardent Defender, hit Divine Toll, and then you can just smash a bunch of Shield of the Righteouses, and then you're getting basically free extensions just by doing your rotation in with the Divine Toll and all of that Holy Power generation, right? It's a lot more free stuff. You put down your Consecrate very, very well. I'm wondering This is 17 minutes. I'm thinking this is probably time. Very quick, you guys are making good work. These black puddles, these are nasty, and these are one thing that you want to watch out for. I know they kind of blend in with the floor. Now here, your camera is zoomed in because there's a wall right behind you. But you kind of put yourself into a corner. And that's something you want to watch out for. Ooh, quaking. I was about to say, somebody just over there fighting? Your monk must have had a proc or something that he didn't want to let go. Now, depending on the week as well, like on Tyrannical, what I'll do on my warrior is I'll charge in here and then I'll immediately leap to the other side. These Gorgons can truck a little hard. I think they're Gorgons. Yeah, we'll just call them Gorgons. Can truck a little hard, but as long as you're using defensives properly, you shouldn't have too much of a problem, and it's a lot more efficient to try and get... Whenever you're fighting one mob, it's not efficient, right? And you gotta remember, as well, is the cannon barrage right here can actually do damage to the enemies as well. So if you see here, all of the mobs are in hiding when you pull them, because the cannons can actually hurt them as well. So an easy way to do it is to come in, start setting up your pull here, bring them out here while there's no cannons, and then as you're doing that and you circle back around, they'll all be out in the open, which is a little bit difficult to do with Inspired, mind you. But as the Gorgon's coming in, he'll naturally be out, and then you'll get free damage from the... Excuse me, you'll get free damage from the... from the cannons. Having a little bit of a hard time speaking this morning. As well, what you can do is, if you have someone that's very, very quick, you can set up a gate on the other side, and the RP will actually stop. So it depends on whether or not you want to use the cannons. If you as a tank are not using the cannons to do more damage to the mobs themselves, it's probably easier to send somebody up ahead to stop the RP cannons, and you'll have an easier time that way.
Range 5.
Oh, you're opting for Dugru here. Honestly, I hate Nox. I said this in the last video, and I'll stand by it. I am a big hater of Nox. I prefer seeing him go down first. You have a whole lot more floor to work with. Nox doesn't like to move either. And you see all these traps? Oh, that's terrible. You do circle around them very, very well, though. But yeah, Dugru's not atrocious. We'll see how Dugru is in higher keys. But right now, you're in a 15, even Tyrannical or whatever. So here the shield, you do want to swap away. But here, Nox just... You're losing out on so much free damage by having to kite away from Nox. This is going to happen naturally, just from the traps and things like that. So this is where I really prefer it when people just burn down Nox. The health isn't that much, but then you look at all these traps, and this does get a whole lot worse as the fight goes on. I have seen 3/4 of this floor just completely covered in trap. Oh my god, coffee's good. But you seem to have a nice cycle of your abilities, which is really, really nice. You're very, very aware of your movement. Where you did lose a lot of time, though, is you can't cleave off these two, right? You can't cleave off these two onto Nox. So even if you want to do Dugru first, you're kind of stuck, which is why I prefer Nox with Pugs. But again, personal opinion is what it is. Those traps, though, they just start filling up the room. And they can be very, very annoying for melee. Which, as I said, your Windwalker Monk just ran right into one. Especially you add Quaking into the mix. Ooh, it's never fun. Never fun. Rotationally, you're very strong. You know, I'm not seeing any glaring anything. But I don't see any trackers for Ardent. Oh, wait. So... I am so sorry. Hey, look at that! Here's the Shield of the Righteous tracker. I'm a knob. I do like your Consecrate tracker as well. Not a lot of people have that. Very, very good to have. Be aware. Okay, so you have everything kind of right here.
Range 5.
I tend to look in the middle, but you have everything right here, which placement is purely preferential, which is completely fine. Alright, good job tanking. You were aware of the traps. You moved around when you could.
Range 5.
I see no glaring issues or anything there. The old Cleft hoof, man. They are just... Yeah, don't run after it. There's literally no point. Nuke down the Wrangler. This is another one of those Theater of Pain type dungeons where a lot of people think the big problem is the big mob, but it's actually the little mob. Those Wranglers actually do truck. They truck you, they truck the party. Those are the mobs that you want to see go down first. The Cleft Hoof's damage profile, if you so would, is pretty easy. He'll just kind of come up to you and hit you with his horns a bunch, and then he'll just run off and stomp. It's really not that bad. Like, he does the Stampede there, which you can run out of the way. It's very easy to kind of foresee and be like, okay, he's stampeding, let's be aware. A little bit of movement, sidestep. Where those Wranglers, these guys are nasty. They like to disengage, they like to cleave, they have the throw does quite a bit of damage as well. As you can see here, you're running with three of them here, and you're just, well, an Infiltrator and 2 Wranglers, sorry. And you just got trucked down to 20%. These guys are very, very dangerous and should definitely be the focus. As well, like I said, using Ardent Defender at the start of a pull with your Divine Toll is going to be very, very strong because you're going to be able to slam just a bunch of the Shield of the Righteouses and have that extension, and especially at the start of a pull, you're going to be a lot safer, and you're going to notice a lot more uptime on your cheat death of Ardent Defender, which is very, very strong. So it's something that you want to start maybe incorporating into your rotation a little bit. I will admit in 15s, I'm even bad for not doing this myself. I understand. Oh, excuse me. Doesn't Divine Toll feel like such a good button to press? I'm happy we're keeping that in Dragonflight. I really, really am. I'm really happy we're keeping that in Dragonflight. Another thing too, I'm not sure if this is how you have it set up, but like as you see here, your Hammer of Wrath has the little glow icon that it procs. You can actually go into your LVI and change it to the way it used to be, where you get the actual glow proc if you want. There is that's one thing that drove me nuts when I first seen it, and because I wasn't, my eyes were attuned to one thing, and I wasn't seeing it as well as I wanted to. So something to actually think about. Those Wranglers, man, they're dangerous. At the start of the pull, you would have been a lot safer had you been able to pop Ardent Defender at the top there. Well, very little things. Now, are you running Righteous Protector, or are you running Final Stand? Either or, both really, really good options. I think you're running Righteous Protector, because I've seen you have Kings up quite a few times. So I think you're running Righteous Protector. Which you're actually using Kings. I've seen you use it quite a number of times, which is really, really solid. I see so many people run Righteous Protector and almost never hit the button, so something you want to, actually think about. I don't think you need this. Yeah, you actually are going to need this back. Unfortunately, that kind of is what it is.
Range 5.
No, but I'm seeing nothing rotationally jarring or glaring or anything. The Ardent Defender work is, it just kind of is what it is. Try and get the uptime on that as much as possible. But that means you're also playing aggressively, and it can be counterintuitive with Hand of the Protector, because you want to be spending some logs on helping out your teammates, which you're not extending Ardent Defender for. So it's one of the things that you're going to kind of have to watch out for. Because if you're running the Ardent Defender and you're trying to get as much uptime as possible, you're going to want to log as least as possible, which is kind of counterintuitive. So you absolutely do want to, be helping out your teammate and being a team player. But whenever you can extend a cheat death, it's fairly strong. Ask Vengeance Demon Hunters if they could have more time or more uptime on their cheat deaths. I'm pretty sure they won't say no. Just a thought, though.
Range 5.
Okay.
Shockwave.
The main thing that I love seeing here is you're just staying in your concentrate. You're staying in your consecrate, and you have a very nice consecrate rotation in which you're moving and immediately putting it down. Very, very good. Very, very strong. Trying to see here. Are you running Mechanicos or are you running Pelagos here? Okay, yeah, you're running Mechanicos. Bring him right back to your consecrate. Put it down. Excellent. Now, here you use Divine Toll off the bat. For this boss here, I particularly save a lot of my big... If I have like a 1 minute AoE chunk, I'll actually save it for the wolves. So like Ravager, I'll put that down on the wolves. For Prot Warrior, for Paladin, Divine Toll. You're not really going to lose any threat at the start of the pull on single target. You should be fine. I think you used your... Okay. You could have used your bop here and gotten him out of it. So here you use some globals and you see your warlock's kind of in trouble. You can just bop anybody without their own immunity out of that. So like rogues can vanish out of it and things like that. But if you bop them, this is a really strong paladin fight. You just bop them and then
range 5.
They don't have to worry. Then you don't gotta worry about nothing. But yeah, for the wolves, I definitely save Divine Toll for those. You're gonna get extra use out of it probably throughout the fight because you're getting the cooldown reduction on it so hard. Okay, so there. Now this is one if you have no other CC. So here you have paralyze, but you don't need to kill it. Just frost trap it and be done. But that's more of a DPS issue. Oh, the same guy twice. Oh yeah, bop him. And especially as you get into higher keys, that bop is going to become a lot more clutch. But you were helping out with Wogs, which, I mean, dude, if you're going to help out, way to help out. That Sky Terror, though, you just Frost Trap it, Paralyze it. Druid can Hibernate it as well, which is, you know, all you need to do is CC it and let it be. Pull Oshir completely away from the Sky Terror, and then you're completely fine. And then Chonk, Divine Toll. Yeah, those wolves like to do what wolves do. This is also a really good spot for Binding Shot. Ursol's Vortex.
Range 5.
Your monk got clapped. Once those wolves like to do what they want to do, then it's a little harsh. But yeah, that would be my recommendations for that fight there. Bop is very, very strong. Communicate with your healer and be like, I'll bop the second one, or I'll bop the first one, or whatever have you not. And it's a lot stronger, right? Just being able to immune out of it. Rogues can vanish. I don't know if hunters can turtle it. I think they can. Or they can feign death it and just get out of it, maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
Shockwave. Range 5.
Now, I haven't seen you use Sack a lot either. Sack is one of those things where, especially as a tank, it is a very powerful ability. I will usually target my healer with it. Especially the first pull, which is like, there's a lot of incoming damage. Anytime your healer doesn't need to focus on themselves as much, they get to keep party up, which is kind of the goal, right? Is what you want. Man, I forgot how much Skulllock just clapped before the melee nerfs came in. As long as you have threat, I wouldn't worry too much about chasing Kormar. He'll come back. Here, this right there, very dangerous. Very dangerous. What you do is you walk into him, Your back is now completely exposed. You're gaining no block chance. He only came down and hit you the once, and it was kind of at the end of his run. So it wasn't too bad there. Ah, Divine Shield. Very nice. But you could have been clapped a lot harder for having turned your back on that boss there. So that's one thing you're going to want to watch out for. Here you do the same thing. I understand you need to get threat on Zogosh, but at the same time, if a dead tank has no threat.
Range 5.
You got fairly lucky here, but as you can see, you're kind of dropping, and the healer is triaging you, as you can kind of see, and as you're going around, right? So you do see that you drop down to 60, and the healer is just pumping you full of hots to keep you up. So that's one thing that you absolutely want to watch out for. Never turn your back on these big melee bosses or anything like that. Generally, you never want to turn your back on anything whenever you can, but I mean, if you have to, let it not be Skullhawk, because he does hurt a lot. If I were you here as well, I would have used the gate. You can get a gateway control shard in Ouroboros, which you just put it on your bars, it makes it a button, and you don't have to click on the gate itself. That way you could have just gated and then ran up with Pony. A little bit quicker movement, right? Warlocks are really, really good on this fight. I did this fight in the DK last night, my BDK last night, and a little bit different from the Warrior. No charge, no heroic leap. A little bit slower, just a little bit slower. That gateway came in clutch. But yeah, you're pretty easily going to time this. Couple of things to work on, like we said. I would get an Ardent Defender tracker and start trying to work on Ardent Defender uptime, because especially if you're starting to push keys, that becomes a lot more important. It's a cheat death that doesn't have an internal cooldown. So if it procs, you get another one the next time you hit Ardent Defender. Very, very strong. Very strong. The couple of little things like the bop placement and things like that. Bop is very, very strong. You get quite a few uses of it throughout the course of a dungeon, so anytime that you notice someone is like maybe taking any melee damage or anything like that is a very good time to use it. And Sack is super great for your healer protection and all that fun stuff. That's one thing that I would be using a little bit more. Now, I tend to run Final Stand because I pug a lot more on my Paladin. So we'll just kind of go down here. I pug a lot more on my Paladin, so what I'll do is I like to pair Sack with Bubble. Because you can sack a healer and bubble and take no damage and you're not losing threat from anything. But I also play very defensively with Divine Shield. Righteous Protector is definitely, like, there's no wrong pick. It's just how you want to use it, right? You're sacrificing some damage with Wings, with Prop Pally to use Divine Shield more often. But having an 8-second immunity every 3 to 3.5 minutes is very, very strong. So there is a trade-off there, and you get Guardian a little bit less. So your primary defensive that you're trying to work with is Divine Shield instead of Guardian of Ancient Kings. And needless to say, anytime you never take damage is better when you take. It's better than when you take 50% less damage, right? But you've got, like, dude,
Range 5.
you've got this. Great tank. Paladins, a lot of fun. And honestly, I think I put Paladins a little bit lower on my tier list than I probably should have. That Mastery Bounty by the end of the dungeon is incredibly fun, and just, you feel so tanky. I think I got to like 96% block chance in one dungeon. We had like gotten all of the stacks of everything, and I had pretty high mastery to begin with. And I think we had a Necrolord Fury Warrior for some reason, so he kept popping banner, and I kept getting 400 mastery. So I had just stupid amounts of the stuff. But dude, fantastic. Couple little things to work on, but thank you very much for the key review. It's never easy to put yourself out there on the internet to be critiqued and coached. So I want to thank you so much for that. I hope you guys have yourselves a very, very good day, and I keep the key review keys incoming. Like, I'd love to see more VODs. I got another Iron Docks to do, so maybe not Iron Docks. Let's give me some more dungeons to kind of look through and stuff like that. The So You Want to Tag series is on the way. I've been pugging a lot of keys lately just to get all of my facts straight when I'm kind of looking at the dungeons. Oh, one of the things that I didn't notice here, which is very dangerous, and you're taking them in here, is those caltrops. You're right at them. These things actually truck and suck. Watch those caltrops in Iron Docks. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Have yourself a good one, and until the next one.